Well, when I first met Jesus, it was at a time when he was really, he was going through a lot of things. And it was amazing to see somebody that had brokenness in him and was searching for answers.
So Jesus was a great guy before he got saved on the outside. He had all the right appearance. He knew how to talk. He was very sweet. Everyone that saw him as the nice guy. And seemed like he was genuine, but covered a lot up. He wanted everyone to see that side of him. He wanted everyone to see the perfect side.
Well, one of the things about Jesus, I think, that was evident was the selfishness that throughout his life had built up to a certain point. And that selfishness got to a point that it brought him to a broken spirit.
We were boyfriend-girlfriend at the time, and he lost his oldest son, which he had gotten sick and really secured our relationship a little bit more. And then I got pregnant, and we were going to church and kind of doing that thing, and then both knew that we were living in sin and thought it would be a better choice to just stop going to church as I got bigger. So then we decided right before the baby was born to get married. And then a year and a half later is our marriage kind of had the rug pulled out from underneath us.
There were many nights that, it'd be late into the evening or early in the morning that I got phone calls and just having nowhere to turn. He didn't know the Lord.
He played games instead of loving his wife. He was on his computer. He lived life for himself instead of spending time with Paula and loving her, or even thinking about trying to be a good husband or a good father.
He was deceiving me in every way, financially, with his business, with pornography, with lusts, and that drove a huge wedge in our marriage.
They were headed towards divorce. It was as simple as that. And so they came in for marriage counseling, and the last thing on his mind was, well, I'm a bad husband, or I've been unfaithful to my wife. He didn't want to confess that. He wanted to think about, how good he was, but their marriage was in big trouble. Eventually, Jesús came to the point where he acknowledged that the Bible was the authority, and the Bible actually was the truth. And the Bible he needed to listen to the Bible when the Bible was telling him he was a sinner. He realized this for the first time, and he got saved.
He realized how wretched his sin was. He told me that he recalled that he was in his office, on his floor, and just crying out to the Lord to please forgive him, to save him, because of the sin in his life and what it had caused and what had happened in his life.
Jesus started talking about God everywhere we went, and started talking about the Lord, talking about what Jesus Christ has done for him in a way that even I was shy to talk about. He was very open and very vocal about what had happened, which Jesus was not vocal before. He would keep everything inside.
I think one of the biggest changes for him now is he's transparent. After Christ, now he's willing to share his life and tell you about his sin and confess those things and actually ask for help and prayer in those areas so that he could work on them and live a life that glorifies Christ.
And that's amazing to watch somebody go from sinner to saint, or from brokenness to righteousness, and have the righteousness of God given to him as a gift.
Jesús has turned that focus on gaming, and now he wants to spend time with his family.
He was all of a sudden paying attention to our daughter in a whole nother way. He was down on the floor playing with her. He was running around outside with her. He was taking the boys to play basketball, getting involved with their sports more than he had been before he was a spectator, and then all of a sudden he's wanting to help coach. So it was a different transformation, or completely different Jesus. The Lord healed our marriage, and I know it's always going to be something that we're going to be working on, that he's going to be working on us, but it is unlike anything I ever expected. And from going to sign divorce papers to 6 months later having another, being pregnant, the Lord healed that trust.
Before Christ, Jesús loved himself more than he loved anyone else. He was lazy and selfish. After Christ, Jesús is determined to love people more than he loves himself. And he's pursuing Christ, he spends time in the Word, and he really wants to be a faithful Christian husband and father.
The transformation has been awesome to be able to witness, to be a part of. And it's a great thing to be able to call him a brother.